matter what I see no more. I'm holding on to the vision, yeah. I ain't who I used to be no more. And don't care if you see the difference. Yeah, yeah. Order my steps, eyes wide open. Lies that I've been holding on to have broken.
Some mornings I wake up and grief is the first thing that I feel. It doesn't knock, it just shows up. It's heavy, quiet, but familiar. And honestly, some days I let it win. I scroll, I zone out, I stare at the same spot on the wall like it's going to answer questions I'm too tired to ask. But something shifted today, not all at once, and not because I felt strong, but because staying in the bed was starting to feel like surrendering my soul, and not in that sacred way. I looked in the mirror and I almost didn't recognize myself. Eyes dull, spirit dim, hair, psst, forget about it. Let's not even talk about that. But under this mess was a version of me that refused to give up. Let's get you together. Let's take care of you. I'm tired. Yeah, let's take care of you. Let's get you together. All right, let's go. Let's be honest. Healing isn't pretty. It's not sage smoke and sound bowls every morning. It's crying into your pillow. It's forgetting to eat. It's the house being a little messy sometimes. It's sometimes you just don't feel like doing absolutely anything. It's standing in the mirror, broken, and still choosing to move. Today, my healing looked like getting out of bed, ordering myself something new so I can start meal prepping so I can give my body the fuel that it needs. And in return, doing things like this will keep me disciplined, help me stay motivated. I can start exercising and it's just it feels good to me. So do things that feel good to you. Today was taking a breath and saying, okay, Leah, you're still here. And that counts. That's medicine too. Every small act of care is a seed. A reminder to my spirit that we are still choosing life, even if we're still grieving. I'm not healed, but I am healing, and that's all that matters. As you can see, I didn't do anything dramatic after I got out the bed. I just took the next right step. I opened the door, got the package. A small thing, but it reminded me, again, that I'm still here and I still care about my body, my spirit, and my future. I ordered meal prep containers because somewhere deep inside, I know I want to treat my body like it mattered again. Cooking has always been sacred for me. It's a quiet prayer, a moving meditation, not just the ones where I sit still. My dad was an actual chef. He owned a restaurant. My boyfriend also loved to cook. And as you know, I love to cook. So times like this is just where I can spend time with them in spirit and I cook with love. I was really happy and proud of myself this day. That Amazon box felt like more than a delivery. It felt like a lifeline, like a small commitment to myself. Even though if I'm moving slowly, I'm still moving forward. And that's all healing really is. Tiny decisions, sacred pivots, and choosing life in micro moments like this one. I had gone days, weeks where food was just survival, and some days not eating at all. But the days that I did eat, it was something to quiet the ache in my stomach, but not to nourish the ache in my soul. But today, I wanted to show up for my body in a different way. Not perfectly, but intentionally. I wanted to honor my temple again, the same body that's held me through every breakdown, every panic attack, and every sleepless night. This body has carried the grief, and it deserves my care. And that's what I'm giving it. This is the part of me I haven't shared much before, but as I keep saying that I was going to and that I am. The spiritual side. The part of me that talks to my dad when the house is quiet. The part that still feels my boyfriend wrapped his energy around me when I can't breathe and I just can't stop crying. The part that knows without proof that I am never really alone. So yes, I talk to my ancestors. I pray. I meditate. I light candles and cry and listen. Because healing is more than just surviving grief. It's remembering who you were before the pain and who you're still becoming every single day. We are spiritual beings here having a human experience.
Discovered, eating plants and fruit make me feel better. Like, I had a headache for a year and 7 months in the back of my head that debilitated me. There were days I don't want to go back to that. I don't want to be whatever, because whatever was happening is still inside of my body. Let's be clear. But something has to activate it. And if the food was activating it, but now I changed it and deactivated it, why would I want to wake it back up?
Right.
That's just how I feel. And I feel like it was really, I really feel like it was the chicken and the turkey because of all the ways that they're making it now. I was going to an acupuncturist during this time when I was sick. And she would be, she would put like the needles in my head and all over me. I was still eating regular back then, not knowing what was wrong with me.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, you should maybe not eat chicken. And I was like, you don't know what you're talking about. Girl, shut up, girl.
Yeah.
And she told me, she said, listen, if you eat chicken, you should have raised it from a baby and then, know the chicken personally. She said, but then if you know it, why would you want to eat it? I said, you know what? I ain't coming back to visit you because you're trying to get in my head, right? And that didn't change my mind. It just didn't. It was like a year later before I made the decision to go vegan.
She planted the seed.
But she was right. It just wasn't, it wasn't making me feel well. It literally took 10 days of eating vegan and my headache disappeared after a year and 7 months. And taking every drug the doctors offered me, every shot, every steroid, everything. I was a guinea pig.
Yeah.
And nothing worked. It probably made me worse because I was just taking whatever they gave me. But 10 days, my headache disappeared. Why would I not want to keep on keeping on with that, right?
Grief and hard times. It doesn't take away your intuition. In fact, it makes your soul louder. And mine's been screaming softly for months now. Come back home to you. I believe in energy. We are energy. But I also believe that food holds vibrations. That intention can season a meal just as much as salt. And today, I cook with prayers in my hands. For strength, for clarity, for peace, and for my bloodline. Cooking is sacred to me. It's not just about making food. It's a ritual. It's a grounding practice. The smells, the chopping, the rhythm. It pulls me back into my body. It helps me stay present and in the moment. When I cook, I feel my heart beating again. I feel the soul and the love that I'm about to present on a plate to my family and my loved ones. I feel the ancestors guiding my hands. I feel my dad watching over me like he used to, cracking jokes as he always did. And these meals that I present to my family, I still also present to them. And I place it on their altar. And just as my dad always cooked with his soul, so do I. Because food is energy. And I want to feed myself life. I want to feed my family life. Not just calories, not just convenience, but real, intentional nourishment, healing in every single bite. I used to rush through meals, rush through pain, rush through everything just to keep up with the world that didn't even care I was grieving, or didn't even care I was just simply going through life and not feeling my best. But today, I'm slowing all the way down because healing requires stillness. It requires softness. It requires reverence. It simply requires you.
What do you do? What do you do? I don't know. Right? And so what I was trying to explain in that first video was, and I gave them, which I thought, but to your point, a lot of people don't understand business. I am a partner with the products in Target, right? I don't own those products. That's a licensing deal. I created those for Target. Now my hair care brand, Donna Dresses, I own that. It sits on the shelf in Target. So I have business. One is partnership, one is ownership. You ain't got to buy nothing. Like, right? None of the stuff that I create. Like, you don't have to buy anything. Right? But I was telling people, if you're not, I get it. But if you go in, make sure you only buy intentionally their products and get out. Right? Because what's going to happen and what did happen, their numbers are going to drop. Right? And numbers don't lie, and that's what they're going to look at. They're going to say, oh, this is not performing. We're going to have to remove you from the shelf. And then they'll remove.
This chicken is being sauteed with prayer, with love, with silent conversations with people I can no longer hold. I say their names in my head as I stir. I ask them for strength, for clarity, for guidance. And I feel them every time, whispering back, you got this, and we're still here. As I mentioned before, my spiritual side I haven't talked too much about on my channel, but I've always wanted to. And these unfortunate circumstances have definitely pushed me into talking about it more. That is just what I feel like I should be doing. That's the part that knows things before they even happen. The part that hears messages when the world is just silent. That part that can still feel my dad's energy, strong, protective, proud, funny, even though his physical body is gone. I talk to my ancestors, I meditate, I connect with spirit through dreams and signs and numbers, and the way the air changes in the room. I know that might sound strange to some people, but to me, it's more real than anything I can touch. It's more real than you even sitting here watching this video. My boyfriend, Jay, he still comes to me in waves. I hear his voice more, and Dad comes to me through dreams more. Jay was one of my most supportive people on this side, and he's been one of my strongest guides since he's crossed over. And if you're watching this and you've lost someone, please hear me when I say they're not gone. They've just moved into a different room. And if your heart is open, you'll hear them when they speak. This week is heavy. My dad's birthday is in 2 days, July 8th. His transition anniversary is this week too. It's going to be on the 11th. He passed 1/11 at 11. How spiritual and profound is that? Jay's is also here. His passing anniversary is in 8 more days. And it feels like the air is thicker with memories. These aren't just dates to me. They're portals. And it's reminders of the love that shaped me and the pain that has cracked me open to send me on the new wave and the new world that I would not live without them being here physically with me. I used to dread these weeks, and to be honest, I still do. I still feel the sting, but now I hold a space for the ache and I honor it. I honor them. I exalt them. I sit with it like a sacred visitor. And in that sitting, I also receive downloads, messages, symbols, warmth in my chest, and I just feel them here. This isn't just grief. This is a bridge between me and spirit, between this world and the next. As I lined up these meals and prepared them, I felt something I haven't felt in a while. Prepared. Not for everything, not for the week, but for today. And sometimes that's more than enough. I'm not healed. I still cry. I still feel waves that knock me off my feet. Some days I still scream. And some days I simply feel like I'm still living in a nightmare. But I'm also building something, brick by brick, day by day. One meal, one breath, and one prayer at a time. I stood there in that kitchen for a long time, not because I was tired, but because I could finally feel the shift. The kind that doesn't scream, but it whispers. You made it through another wave. And for a long time, I thought healing would feel like joy, a little bit more gentle than what I've actually been feeling like. But it often feels like this. It's quiet, grounded, and real. Like exhaling in a body that forgot it was safe to breathe. The grief doesn't disappear, but it softens. When you show up for yourself like this, with presence, with care, with a sacred yes to your own life, great job. I didn't just feed my body today or this week. I fed my spirit. I nourished the part of me, the version of me that has carried pain in silence and aloud, and still got up anyway. I gave a rhythm again, through chopping and stirring, through feeding my spirit through the things that I put through my ear gates. I gave her stillness and the exhale after the last dish was done. I gave her peace and the simplicity of showing up for a basic need with sacred energy. And that's the spiritual work nobody sees. That's the kind of healing that's not loud, but it's holy and it's gentle and it's important. Sometimes spirit doesn't speak in visions or dreams. Sometimes spirit speaks through a clean home, a nourished body, and then that moment you realize you didn't give up on yourself today. I know my dad saw that. I know Jay felt that. I know my ancestors were sitting in that room with me, nodding quietly, whispering, "Look at her. She's remembering who she is." They always come close when I'm doing something sacred, and lately I've realized that sacred doesn't always look mystical. Sometimes sacred looks like cooking your own food, choosing to put good things in your body, making your bed, drinking more water, just simply taking a shower and choosing a healthy, clean body, speaking kindly to yourself even when you're tired of trying. So if no one has told you today, you're allowed to start again. You're allowed to be soft and sacred and still carry strength. You're allowed to cry in the kitchen and still call it holy. You're allowed to heal, messy, beautiful, spiritual, and real. This is my healing diary, not just a video, a living altar, and I'm so grateful you're here to witness it. Until next time, keep listening to your soul, keep feeding your spirit, and never forget that you're never alone.